Hey, it's Dr. Schmidt. So here it is. It's Friday night, end of May. It's about 8:40. I'm in Michigan. It's 40 degrees outside. Shouldn't be this cold, but I'm done editing the final video where I created my online course. So YouTube censored me in spring of 2018 and again June of 2019. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done with this with YouTube leadership. I'll still be making videos, but instead of drawing people to the YouTube platform, I have my own website. I hooked up with a guy in the UK, and we've been creating this online course. It's called the 7-Step Blueprint to Optimal Health, and it's been a year and a half. It includes 3 ebooks, one specifically for the online course, and then 2 other ebooks, plus 180 videos, a ton of videos, a lot of work. And I'm basically like sharing everything that I have that's really important. And I've been at this holistic healthcare, I call it hardcore holistic nutrition, since 1993. That's the first time I ever opened up any article about healthcare, natural healthcare. And so this is my career, and I have a lot of information, but really what it comes down to is these 7 steps to get started on healing your body. Now, throughout natural healthcare, we're talking 100 years, more than 100 years, but really in the modern era, 100 years, natural doctors and health food stores and naturopaths and et cetera, they've always been trying to increase your nutrition, like there's a nutritional deficiency, which is fine. And during the discovery of vitamins between 1911 through the early 1940s, that's what was missing because the food supply was so bad. With just white grains, white bread, nothing was added. There wasn't any vitamin B1 added until 1934. And that was the very first nutrient added into modern processed food. So there certainly are nutritional deficiency problems. And the profession in holistic nutrition or natural care has been adding nutrition, adding supplements, adding vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, etc., herbs for 100 years, and I did that for most of my career. But what I've realized using the CellCore products, you've heard me talk about CellCore Biosciences. What I've realized is that the first step is to remove the bad things out of your body. So we're talking about parasites, heavy metals, chemicals, radiation, glyphosate, which is Roundup, and then any organisms. So parasites, virus, bacteria, fungus/mold, yeast, candida, and what am I missing? Lyme organisms. So spirochetes, mycoplasma, ehrlichia. So you got to get the bad stuff out first, and then you put in the good stuff. Now currently I have 2 patients right now. First I have to put in the good stuff, the good nutrition. Now they're able to remove the bad things. Now their body's willing to eliminate parasites. So it's crazy how, you enter into a profession like like I said, the first article I ever read on nutrition was the fall of 1993. And I could have just stuck with that information and just pursued my career based on that one article and what the article was talking about. But when you're in the nutrition profession, you're reading every day. Every day you're studying, and there's no excuses. I just had this conversation yesterday with somebody who was interested in going into the nutrition field, and I was like, this isn't like some body work technique, or this isn't, some surgery drug dispensary. This is nutrition, and the field of nutrition is evolving. Well, so is surgery, so is pharmaceuticals, but the nutritional field, the need for true nutritional care is so wide. It's like everybody. The need for pharmaceuticals or surgery is very, very small. And so the United States is deficient in true nutritional care. And so anyways, I laid out the most important aspects of removing bad things out of your body in this program called the 7-Step Blueprint to Optimal Health. And it should be out in the next few weeks. It'll be on my website. There'll be like a sales page, landing page, etc. And I'll do some ads. I'll put some ads up on social media. And in the meantime, I'll be doing short videos on YouTube, longer videos on YouTube. I'm going to do some short videos on TikTok and Instagram. So expanding it's a media company basically. It's myself and I have one other person, two other people that are helping me. So anyways, I just got done editing the very last video. I didn't count how many there are. I think there's about 180. And they're divided into 3 pillars and there's 7 steps. Each step has multiple videos. The videos have problem solution and then academic information that helps you learn more about states of wellness and that particular condition I'm talking about. And then from there you can take more control and more responsibility and with the knowledge so you can improve your health. So instead of just getting problem solution, you get why and what and how and when, so you can have better control. Okay, so anyways, I haven't done a video on YouTube in a long time, and my time has been wrapped up creating these videos and webinars and et cetera, et cetera. But I've had some really cool parasite stories. I want to share with you some parasite stories. Now, I did mention some of these 3 months ago or 5 months ago, but I have 6, and they never get old. They're always gross. They're always amazing. They're always you can learn something from them. And the first time I had a patient get rid of a parasite was 2001, and none then until 2007. So the second person that got rid of a parasite in 2007, she was sitting on the toilet and it wouldn't come out. So she grabbed some toilet paper and she had to pull it out, and she put it on the countertop and it started to crawl away like this. And she put it in a baggie and she brought it into the office so I can look at it. So that's something I'll never forget. The story, I mean, it was alive. Most of the time they're dead, but there's been a few cases where parasites come out alive. But back in 2007, I would have people get rid of a 12-inch tapeworm or, a 6-inch hookworm, and they brought it in a jar. They took a picture, and it was really cool, and like we were celebrating. And that was with the tools I had at the time. So wormwood, clove, oregano, these herbs. But now I have better tools. And now I have people getting rid of parasites daily for 2 years, every time they go to the bathroom. And then on the 3rd year, it's less and less and less. And I have, other people, they're getting rid of parasites twice a week for 4 months. So the tools I have now are just so much more powerful. And the healing is so much more accelerated and more complete, instead of just getting one parasite out and then thinking that you're done. So that's a little history on that. The products that are awesome are from Cellcore Biosciences. And I mentioned, I said in an earlier video, I had a guy fly out from Texas to see me, and I did the muscle testing procedures that I do, and I told him, you have parasites in your brain. Well, the supplement that works on that didn't come out until a year later, and he bought it on his own, and he started taking it. And next time we talked on the phone, he said he got 10 to 20 parasites out of his nose every day for 3 to 4 weeks, and they're about this big, and he pulled them out, and they're covered in mucus. Parasites make mucus, and that's what they live in. So if you have mucus when you go to the bathroom coming out of your butt, that means you got parasites or fungus that needs to get cleaned out. You'll never get better unless those are cleaned out. And there's some preparation work that needs to be done in order to get to that stage. I just had a fantastic story this week. A woman quite ill, severe anxiety, depression, fatigue, can't work, can't drive, trying to take a class in self-defense with a handgun, can't shoot the gun, has to run out of the classroom due to anxiety. It's a physical pressure, pain, tightening, scary heartbeat, can't breathe. I mean, I've been there when I had black mold in 2016. If you've never had anxiety, doctors call it psychiatric illness, and they recommend Xanax. Completely misdiagnosed, completely wrong therapy. You want to fix it, you got to fix it. And it's physiological, it's physical, it's biochemical. And the question is, what's causing that condition inside the body? Well, certainly white sugar can do it. the standard American diet with high amounts of grains and bad food, that can do it. But so can mold, so can parasites, so can any other organism. A bacterial infection in your heart or lungs certainly can cause it. So it's not a deficiency of Xanax or Prozac or Wellbutrin. There's a real problem going on inside the body. It needs to be pulled out. So nobody in medicine knows that. Zero. 1 million medical doctors, 25,000 hospitals. Nobody knows what I just said. So anyways, we worked on her diet. I gave her supplements for her stomach and digestion. That got better. And then I said, okay, now it's time for parasites. I put her on the right supplements. She started the supplements. 3 days later, got a severe reaction, horrible anxiety, screaming, head banging on the wall. Horrible. This is how bad her health was. And usually after an episode like that, she's a vegetable for a day and then really depressed for a week. Well, after that episode was over, an hour later, she got out her first parasite. And then boom, done. Anxiety pretty much gone. Depression not there. Anxiety just like 95% reduced. And now she can drive to a place that she's never been to. Now she can fire the pistol at the range during the class. Parasites can mess with your brain and cause all the psychiatric illnesses that exist. And I've seen it. I've seen other people with severe depression, they got a parasite in their brain, or they got it in their stomach and it's affecting their brain. And now again, in medicine, they'll treat parasites, especially if it's like the infectious disease department of a university hospital or downtown hospital. But every single medical doctor needs to be addressing diet and parasites and any other. It's an immune system weakness, right? It's not always just, oh, let's kill this bacteria. It's not always, let's just kill this virus. It's an immune system weakness. You were exposed, you were unlucky, and you were exposed in some way. But maybe there was something earlier that made your immune system weaker from lifestyle choices, bad diet, or you purchased a home that was a sick building syndrome with too much dust. Maybe there's mold in the building. Maybe something's wrong with it. But unlucky exposures, lifestyle choices. Those are the two reasons why your health is what it is. So anyways, it's a fantastic story. And it's just continually improving. I'm always looking for what's the next step for improvement. I had a mechanic, and he would bend over. He had sinus problems that were really severe. He'd bend over and then catch these balls of mucus falling out of his nose into his hand as big as a golf ball, really soft and pliable. So they would slip out in the shape of a rod, like a string, a thick string. And then in the hand, it was a ball. And and it fixes sinuses. So when people are constantly having a runny nose, sinus congestion, they call it seasonal allergies, they call it whatever they're going to call it. That mucus comes from an organism, virus, bacteria, fungus, parasite. There's a bug in there that needs to come out. So when I got rid of 2 parasites earlier this year, after the second one, I knew that my dairy allergy was gone. So I go down a few miles from here. I got a local farmer. He's got a little retail one-room store, tiny room with freezers full of meat. I bought strawberry milk and cottage cheese, and I consumed that, and I didn't have to blow my nose. I just knew at that moment. I had another guy. I talked to him on the phone. He's a surfer in the ocean, and he had some health problems. And I told him on the first phone call, I said, I think you have parasites. And I recommended some supplements. And then later that night, he's talking to his wife. And the wife says to him, so how'd it go with Dr. Schmidt? And he goes, not good. I don't believe him. He says I got parasites. I don't think I have parasites. So the next morning he wakes up and he feels a hair on his tongue. And he's got 2 daughters too. And so he's complaining in his mind about the hair from the females in his house. So he pulls the hair off his tongue, and it's a parasite. It's like 12 inches long. It's so disgusting, he immediately vomits, and 2 more parasites come out. He fishes them out of the toilet, and he put them in the bathroom sink in a circle, and he took a picture and he sent it to me. And a week later, he got the supplements in the mail. He wasn't even on the supplements yet. Just talking about those parasites sort of activated his immune system to kick out those parasites. It's an amazing story. I have a patient with parasites going all up and down her body. She can feel them inside her legs, torso, brain. They go wherever they want to go. It's really scary. Anyways, I put her on basically every parasite supplement that I have. And they started coming out. And actually, they were coming out even before she saw me. But that accelerated. And then on December 22nd, 2019, she went full carnivore diet. Beef, water, salt. That's it. She's been on this diet since then. But 3 days after she started that diet, she got rid of a worm that was 3 feet long and as big around as a quarter. She called it a snake. There was no fecal material attached to this. It was just only this organism. Unfortunately, she was on an automatic flush toilet, so she stood up from the toilet and it flushed right away. So she couldn't grab it and she couldn't take a picture of it. And maybe those automatic flush toilets should be banned, but for that reason. So, and then she was 70% better immediately after that came out of her. So those are my parasite stories. Really gross, but 90% of Americans have parasites. And there is a simple test you can do. You can just go like this. If you feel a pulse on your neck, that means you have parasites. And you can have a parasite exposure when you were a kid, and now it's 40 years later, 60 years later. It's just that family needs to come out of you. And I don't see why it's not possible that people were born with parasites. Dogs are born with parasites. Puppies, brand new puppies, 6 weeks old, 3 months old, parasites in their stool, and they were born that way. This whole thing's been taken out of our culture, which is very unfortunate because it's a major factor for chronic illness, chronic symptoms. And just like heavy metals and plastics, chemical poisoning, these are major factors in chronic illness. The chemicals and the metals are arguably more important than even the organisms because the toxins create dead tissue. And then the organisms eat the dead tissue. Their purpose in life is to return your body to the soil. Just like the trees and the woods that are down on the ground and mushrooms are growing on them to decompose the wood. Your body is carbon, just like the wood is carbon, the trees. And that needs to go back into the soil, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. 96.6% of your body are those 3 elements, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. So if your body's clean of metals and clean of chemicals, you're in really good shape. And then you can tackle the virus that's causing your autoimmune thyroid or the parasite that's creating your IBS, digestive symptoms, bowel disease. And then you can tackle the fungus that's creating those headaches in the back of your head and the high blood pressure. Okay, so fungus can cause these symptoms of heart disease. I think a lot of cases of heart disease are actually toxicity from the standard American diet followed by fungus growing in and around the heart. And when you go to the doctor, they're going to treat you like a plumber treats the pipes below your kitchen sink. They're going to give you drugs to expand or contract muscles, arteries, the flow of blood. They're going to slow the heart down. They're going to do whatever. That's plumbing. I mean, imagine going to medical school and residency for 8 years and you come out a plumber of muscular tissue. You're just a plumber. Instead of actually getting to the cause and finding the organism that's in that heart. We've seen parasites push up against the heart and verified with an ultrasound, and there can be a viral heart disease condition. As a matter of fact, Dr. Robert Atkins, the Atkins diet, there was an autopsy done on him. He fell, slipped on ice, fell, hit his head. He died a week later. He was in the hospital bed for a week before he died. They did an autopsy on him, and the pathologist said he had a viral infection, probably from the past in his heart from years earlier. So when I had the black mold in 2016, I had high blood pressure, chest pain. I had 4 EKGs in 2016. One of them showed I had a heart attack. I don't know how many times I said that on YouTube or how many times I told that to my family. I think I told my mom, and that's it. But I'm more comfortable saying it now in 2021 than I was in 2016 because you don't want to scare people saying, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, my EKG shows I had a heart attack." Like, I didn't say that back then. But somebody on social media said, "Well, your diet should have helped you and prevented that from happening." It's like, wait a minute. My building was so moldy, my office was so filled with black mold that the defense lawyers lost. We settled out of court before trial to my favor. And even my plaintiff lawyer was surprised at the dollar figure that I received. Now, I still I still lost money in the move out of that building to the new building, but whatever, that's the cost of doing business. But yeah, no matter how good my diet, is that abundance of mycotoxins in the air. It's the spores from the mold with the mycotoxins on the spores. That abundance of mycotoxins was huge. So my immune system strength is this big and the mycotoxin amount is this big. Like, there's no combating that with, bananas and a nice steak. You know what I mean? Whether you're vegan or carnivore or whatever, somewhere in between, there's no diet that can fix that. And having said that, there's a lot of patients I talked to initially. They're working so hard on their diet, and and they're doing a great job, but they go from one end to the other and other places in between. They try the FODMAP diet. They go low carb, they go fruitarian, they go carnivore, they go, and they're doing all these things, and they're not working because they have toxins and pathogens. There's your diet at that point. If you're that sick, your diet is simply eat to live. Every day you have to choose the foods that will keep you alive, keep your energy up, and keep you going for that day. In the meantime, we're detoxing you, we're immune system supplements, and we're looking for improvement over the course of 6 months to 3 years. More than 6 months usually. So I appreciate when people are like, they ask me all these questions about diet, and I'm like, wait a minute. You have mucus in your stool. No diet's going to fix the parasite in your bowels that's causing all that mucus in your stool. Or no diet will fix the mold, in between your organs and in your heart that's going to fix your high blood pressure, because it's the organisms doing it. So we got to keep that in context. Now, I was interviewed on Monday by Vanessa she's the ketogenic girl. And she had some fantastic questions. It was a great interview. And she will post that in July of 2021. But she mentioned that the base of the audience, she mentioned you are smarter and more knowledgeable now than 4 years ago. And I totally agree. And it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic to see that. So my first video on YouTube was in 2013. And so I've been on, doing this public thing since then. It's a long time. And the questions are different on social media. And I can see the elevation in the quality of the questions. So your questions are better. And all the boats rise with the tide. The more knowledge that's put out there, the more research, the more videos, the more education, the more podcasts, we're all getting better. So I've certainly benefited from, watching the low carb, keto, carnivore doctors and the researchers and the authors and the lecturers and stuff. So anyways, this is my contribution for tonight. When Vanessa interviewed me on Monday, I realized that, looking back at the last 5-6 months, I haven't put very many videos up on YouTube, but my resources for answers has accelerated because, I'm doing research for my videos for this online course, the 7-Step Blueprint to Optimal Health. And I'm putting my words together for the webinars that we're going to use to educate and market, and getting my thoughts lined up, because you can't just sell a big blob of information. You got to sell it in stages, chronological steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. And so putting all that together, it's been a training of my mind. And so I'm looking forward to doing short videos, like 60 seconds. I haven't put any videos on TikTok, but I will. And TikTok is deficient in nutritional information. Let me just put it that way. I go on TikTok and I watch e-commerce, real estate investing, crypto, marketing, finance. And what's great about TikTok is they got 90 seconds to nail their subject. As opposed to on YouTube, people open up with their logo reveal. They got the B-roll with the music in the background, and it's like a minute and 20 seconds, and you're waiting for the information to come at you. Whereas with TikTok, their video's done in a minute and 20 seconds, 90 seconds. And most videos are less than 60 seconds. So when I get on TikTok, whatever short videos I do on TikTok, I'll put them on YouTube also, and I'll start posting on Instagram. I'm creating a small marketing team, and they have training on these platforms. So I'm gonna expand my reach and start back up. But I'm really looking forward to doing these short videos because I can nail something like a subject like real quick and make it hard hitting, and then show a picture, boom, of a bathroom sink filled with 48 inches of parasites wrapped up in a circle. I have a video of a girl pulling a 6-inch earthworm out of her nose. She's actually doing it. It's 6 seconds long. And she set it down in the bathroom. She knew it was coming out. She grabs it, she pulls it out. And I don't have written permission yet to use that publicly, but I'm waiting for that. Anyways, it's the most unbelievable thing. And it looks like an earthworm. It's got the segmented body. It's about that big around, just like an earthworm. And about 2/3 of it is black, and the last third of it is red. Or is it the other way around? But the point is, it's crazy disgusting. And she had 6 come out in 3 weeks. So I just have video of that one. So look for that in the shorts on YouTube. Okay, so there's thanks for listening. I wanted just to share this with you. I'm happy that I'm just celebrating that I finished this last webinar. My editing is done, and I'm working with my UK guy to get this implemented. And that's all I have to say about that. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing your Friday night with me. Okay, I will see you later.